All right, quick breaking news. Trevor Lawrence just tested positive for COVID-19.
You said Trevor Lawrence tested positive for.
Correct.
You know what? Hold that thought. Hit the intro. Man, oh man. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hate2Pylon. Today is the Pylon picks. We're just going to give you our picks. But as you saw before the intro, we had a little bit of breaking news. Trevor Lawrence of the Clemson Tigers, the quarterback in the draft, number one quarterback in the draft, tested positive for COVID-19. I don't know what the ACC rules are for quarantining. I know in Big Ten is
he's
21
got to
days,
be out Saturday at least.
unless he pulls a Nick Saban.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know who else is gonna miss. Because I know with the NFL, when like one player's been tested positive, they've quarantined the whole position group.
Right.
So I don't know if they're gonna quarantine the rest of the quarterbacks. I'm assuming they're gonna get the PCR.
Well, you get the rapid test is what you get instantly, but the PCR one is the test that comes back within a couple of days. I know it takes a couple of days to come back, so they're probably going to do both tests, rapidly test them to see, or at least the PCR. I guess will be the second test to see for sure, because that one's a little bit more refined. Like that's
accurate.
It's definitely, yeah, more accurate. So he would need to, if he tests negative this next test, then I think he would have to test negative 3 more times in order to be cleared to go. But if he tests positive again, then that's what I'm pretty sure he's going to have to sit out. But that's huge news. Our client, Trevor Lawrence, testing positive is not, great. And then all at the same time too, is like, did they quarantine a quarterback in the quarterback room as well? Because the quarterback room is pretty small. We saw what happened in, was it Wisconsin or Nebraska?
Wisconsin.
In Wisconsin, there 3 of the 4 starting quarterbacks tested positive for COVID. So that could spread, and that could possibly cancel the game. The game in Wisconsin versus Nebraska did get canceled this weekend. So hopefully, if this knocks out Wisconsin's chances of playing in the playoff, who knows? But crazy breaking news. Wow, that just changed the whole tone of this video. But we're going to keep it moving with the Pylon picks. And we're going to go to the first game here that we're going to pick. And that is going to be New England versus Buffalo. A pretty interesting matchup here where you have the New England Patriots, who are struggling right now on offense, on defense. Possibly Stephon Gilmore might be getting traded. That's a storyline to watch as well. Buffalo got a win this past week against the Jets, but barely beat them. So they kind of stopped their losing streak, their 2-game losing streak that they had. So it should be interesting. This is the game for the East, I think, because Buffalo is a contender, maybe, but until they beat New England, this is a very up in the air division. Who do you got, Jonathan?
Well, the Bills are good, and the Patriots had 3 healthy wide receivers at practice today. Damiere Byrd, Gunnar Olszewski, and I think Jacoby Myers. So not great at all. So if they can't get at least Edelman back healthy, maybe N'Keal Harry, I don't think they're going to have a chance. Cam's been in a slump recently. I got to believe he's going to bounce back soon. but the Bills' defense is pretty good. So I don't think it's going to be this week, especially if they're limited with their offensive weapons. I'm going Bills 24-10.
Oh, my heart is telling me to take the Buffalo Bills. For them to finally be their year in the East. The thing that I'm really contemplating is it's just like the Patriots don't lose 3 straight. But this team is a different team this year. Oh wow, is that the rain? Holy shit.
No, I can hear that.
Yeah, that shit kind of scared me.
The hurricane came back.
I guess so. Fuck. Excuse me. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, the New England Patriots don't normally lose 3 in a row, but at the same time, as you noted, that they don't really have any healthy wide receivers in practice right now, and it's Thursday. So that's concerning. We'll see Friday. Friday's really kind of the day you'll see a lot. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm gonna have to go with the Buffalo Bills. Their defense is legit. Getting the win last week, I think, is going to be, it's good momentum heading in to Patriots week. And I think they're really focused this week. I think they're going to be extra focused to really put it to the Patriots. And I think the Patriots, after this week, officially are going to be tanking and also get ready to start selling some pieces like Stephon Gilmore. So.
Yeah, the problem with that is the Patriots don't really have that many pieces to sell right now.
He's the only piece.
They lost so much in free agency and then even more in opt-outs. Like, Gilmore's really the only big name player they have. Touchdown, Curtis Samuel. Let's go. Back to the discussion. Yeah, he's really the only big name player they have, at least on the defense. On offense, they have Joe Tooney, who's on the franchise tag. I could see him being moved as well. He's one of the best guards in the NFL. But yeah, they don't have a lot to sell off, so they're not in like a great position to tank because they only have 2 wins. So they could still finish with like a top 5 pick, but the Jets don't have any wins. The Falcons currently have 1 win. They're losing this game tonight 7-3. Let's see who else is bad. The Vikings are also 1-5, I believe. Let me check the standings.
The whole entire NFC East.
Yeah.
Cowboys stink.
Giants 1-6, Dallas 2-5, Washington 2-5, Philadelphia 2-4, Denver 2-4, Jacksonville 1-6, Houston 1-6, whose pick is owned by the Dolphins. Yes, they're turning to Tua now, but if they doesn't matter how good Tua does, they might still end up with a top 3 pick and be in position to draft Justin Fields, probably not Trevor Lawrence, but Justin Fields or any other quarterback they want. So if Tua is not putting up like a Justin Herbert-like performance these next couple of games to close out the season, they might look to move on from him as they moved on from Josh Rosen last year after trading for him from the Cardinals.
It's a bit of a hot take right there.
I mean, the Cardinals did it to Josh Rosen too. He's struggled. They had the first overall pick. They took Kyler Murray. And then the Dolphins, they had Josh Rosen. They were going to give him a shot. He didn't get a fair shot, in my opinion, but he had a shot there. And then he was replaced by Tua. So, I mean, we've seen it happen before in recent memory, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, very true.
I just believe with a healthy Cam Newton, which after last week's performance is in question. I don't know if he's healthy, whether that's lingering effects from the shoulder injuries and foot injuries he suffered with the Panthers, or lingering effects from testing positive for COVID. He didn't look right last week. But if he can get right, I have to believe they're going to win at least 6 games, which would put them out of the top 5, maybe out of the top 10.
Yeah.
So that's not really, if you're outside of the top 10, you're not really in a good position to tank and set yourself up for future success. You want that top 5 pick. The higher, the better. But I don't think they're going to be in a position to compete with somebody like the Jets, who are 0-7, with not a win in sight. Potentially trading their best defender, Quinnen Williams. Yeah.
Speaking of trading one of their best defenders, let's talk about the Tennessee Titans versus the Cincinnati Bengals, who this week traded Carlos Dunlap to the Seattle Seahawks for an offensive lineman, and a 7th-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the name of the guard. I think it was a guard that they traded for, which is, I mean, if he can come in and play for the Bengals, that would be a good trade-off for them. Depth on their offensive line. But Tennessee versus Cincinnati is a really interesting matchup. Cincinnati's defense stink, but their offense puts up yards. Joe Burrow each week is just, constantly keeps, trying and willing to put his team in positions to win. I mean, he threw for 400 yards last week, 3 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, he's definitely a lock for Rookie of the Year right now.
No, sir. No, sir. Justin Herbert.
Oh, dang, yeah. Well, it's definitely going to be a close race. They both don't have many wins. Justin Herbert got his first win, but the Chargers have 2 wins total this season. So, I mean, it should be interesting. That should be an interesting race. 2 really good quarterbacks. And then we'll see if Tua throws his hat in the ring this week. But Tennessee coming off a loss to Pittsburgh in a close game. They came back in the second half. Honestly, I think Tennessee handles business this week. But I do see Joey Burrow putting up some big numbers this week. So I'm gonna go Tennessee 33 to Cincinnati 28.
Let's see. Joe Mixon might not play again, so if he doesn't play, that'll be a big blow to the Bengals. But I'm gonna go Titans regardless. I'm gonna go 27-23 Titans. I think it'll be a close game, like you said. Joe Burrow with the weapons he has, Tyler Boyd, AJ Green for now, T. Higgins, maybe Joe Mixon if he does play, Gio Bernard for sure. He has weapons.
And also, a fun fact, Joe Mixon is one of the most highly utilized, or has the most scrimmage touches, or the most touches, offensive touches this season, and for fantasy. I think I heard that stat on the fantasy podcast on Monday. Joe Mixon's at least he's either 1 or top 3.
Probably maybe 1 going into last week, top 3 now because he missed a game. Right. But yeah, he's been getting a lot of touches. The problem is that offensive line hasn't been great. So most of his success has come in the passing game in the last couple weeks before he got hurt, where he's able to get in space and make stuff happen, because it's hard when you're getting hit in the backfield.
Yeah.
I think after week 5, he had more yards after contact than he did rushing yards, which meant he was getting hit in the backfield every play. So not ideal. But yeah, I'm going Titans Bengals. Speaking of teams who have suffered with COVID-19 problems, we got the Browns taking on the Oakland Raiders, whose entire offensive line was in quarantine last week. I believe they all cleared. Maybe not Trent Brown. But the other 4 starters did for sure. Taking on the Browns. Derek Carr's been playing well recently.
Comfortable in the Gruden offense.
And he's got a new favorite target, it would appear.
Pull the rug from under
Nelson
him.
Aguilar.
Yeah, he struggled with drops last week.
I mean, he did, but
always
correct. But he's had some very good games recently. Let me pull them up. Let's see. Last week, 5 catches, 107 yards, and a touchdown. The week before that, 2 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Week before that, 4 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. So he's a touchdown in 3 straight games. So, I mean, he's looking better than he did in Philly last year, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
He's a top option in that offense right now. Ruggs, I believe, is back and healthy, right?
I didn't hear anything that he was out so far.
Yeah, so I mean, still Ruggs and Waller should be ahead of him in the target order, but
that offense is different when Ruggs is on the field, though.
Oh yeah, he stretches the field, gives them that added dimension of going vertical, and it might take another step when Bryan Edwards is back and healthy. He's out with injury right now, but he was their 3rd round pick out of South Carolina. They have some very high hopes for him as well. So when he's back, Nelson Aguilar might fall off a little bit, but for right now, he's kind of on a tear. Yeah, and I don't trust Baker Mayfield. Yes, the Browns are 5-2, but
same with Chicago Bears. They're 5-2 as well.
Correct. And don't get me wrong, the Browns are a much better team than the Bears, but Nick Chubb's still out. They just lost Odell Beckham for the year with a torn ACL. They lost Austin Hooper. I believe he's going to miss this week as well. I know he missed last week with appendicitis. I believe he's out this week as well. He's questionable but not expected to play. So they're down 3 of their top options in the passing game. So
yeah, that should be interesting. I think this could be a really good game. Honestly, these 2 teams are both kind of like middle of the pack teams that are really close, or on paper should be really close to making the next step. I mean, Gruden's teams are just grinders. You know, all right, man, they're going to grind out the game. They're going to game plan. They're going to give a lot of effort. I mean, they got a big win against Chiefs. So really, you never really know. But then they might, lose this week, bad. They're a team that's just like really up and down, really mediocre, ride the line on 8-8 each year. But the same goes for the Cleveland Browns, and this is the best start they've had. Kevin Stefanski is definitely showing that he is competent. He's a competent play caller, unlike Freddie Kitchens that they had. So I do have some trust in the play calling and being able to just run the ball and to keep the ball at a minimum out of Baker Mayfield's hands as much, and let him grow his confidence, because Baker Mayfield is such a player that is vindictive of him. Or wait, that's not the right word. Is imperative that that's not the right word either. It's crucial for Baker Mayfield to be able to beat in rhythm, but also have confidence, because the more confident he is, the better his accuracy gets, and he can let that gunslinger fly a little bit better, a little bit more. I mean, he definitely has the gunslinger in him, but when his confidence is matching the gunslinger mentality, he can be pretty deadly, quite deadly. He could be a guy who completing 70% of his passes, and that's kind of the biggest thing. He was garnered for coming out of Oklahoma. Um, I don't know. This is one of those really weird games. I don't really know who's going to win. I think this game is in Cleveland, so Raiders have a big loss against uh, the Buccaneers last week. I'm gonna go Oakland. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna go Las Vegas here. A close victory, 28-29, down to the wire. Derek Carr just has enough to throw a last-minute touchdown pass to Darren Waller in the corner of the end zone. I'm calling it right now. So we come back to this tape next week if it happens. Raiders by 1.
All right. I think I'm going to go Raiders as well. I'm going to go 24-27 Raiders. I just don't know if Baker's going to have enough to get it done. They still have Kareem Hunt. They still have Jarvis Landry, uh, Rashard Higgins, and Donovan Peoples-Jones, rookie out of Michigan, had a touchdown last week. He might be finally turning the corner, turning into a player for them. But I got to go with the Raiders. They got the hot hand right now. So, yeah, 24-27 Raiders. Final answer.
Okay. All right, so moving on to the next game we have Indianapolis Colts versus Detroit Lions. Now, I said to the last pick that the Raiders and Cleveland Raiders and the Browns are definitely a toss-up game, but this right here is also one of those kind of. There's a lot of interesting matchups this week. The Colts versus the Lions for sure is a. I don't know. It can really go either way. Detroit is hot right now. They won 2 straight. I think the Colts are coming off a bye week, right? They didn't play last week, did they?
Let me check. No, they were on bye last week.
Yeah, so they're coming off a bye week, so fresh. We'll see how that arm of Phillip Rivers is refreshed. Hopefully, he has a short string, and free Jacoby happens this week against Detroit. I don't know. I don't know. Matt Stafford definitely is in the rhythm right now. Do the Lions make it 3 straight? That's it, and go over 500 for the first time since Matt Patricia was head coach. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say Detroit beats Indianapolis, and I say they win 25-13.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the opposite way. I got the Colts. The Colts defense has been really good this year. Matt Stafford has been Matt Stafford this year, so very good some games, very underwhelming some games. He has looked rejuvenated since Kenny Galladay's been back in the lineup. But Xavier Rhodes also looks to be having a bounce back year. I think he's going to limit Kenny Galladay. I hope not for fantasy purposes because I have Kenny Galladay and I need him to have a big day. But because I need that, I can guarantee it won't happen. So I got Colts 24, Lions 13.
Okay.
Next game up, we got an NFC North showdown. between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers.
The Vikings versus the Packers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers bounced back in a big way last week after that down game against the Bucks. Devontae Adams has been. I mean, he went off last week. I think he's going to continue that.
I think Aaron Jones should be back this week too.
Yeah, Aaron Jones should be back. But even if he's not, Devontae Adams should feast on those Vikings corners. And yeah, Kirk Cousins has been bad this year, despite some very good play from Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson.
And despite signing a contract extension this offseason, or right before the season.
I thought it was last season. No, it was this season. Time moves slow in the quarantine. Yeah, so I'm going to go Packers 31, Vikings 17.
I'm going to keep this one short and sweet because I think this game is going to be short and sweet. Go, Pack, go. Aaron Rodgers for 50 fantasy points this week, which I need because he's on my fantasy team. Yeah, easy dub, 42-21 for the Green Bay Packers. Moving on to another game that's just going to be abysmal. The Kansas City Chiefs taking on the New York Football Jets. Jets stink. Trevor Lawrence is sick, but he's sick of the thought of playing for the Jets next season. And Kansas City for 100. I'm predicting Kansas City to go for 100 points this week. Le'Veon Bell has 3 touchdowns. Clyde Edwards-Helaire goes for 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. That's why Le'Veon Bell comes in and gets acclimated to the offense. McCall Hardman finally gives me some fantasy points after picking him up this week. 100 points for the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Jets score 0. Negative points if possible.
Yeah, Chiefs by a lot. Think of a number greater than 30, and that's probably what the Chiefs are going to score. Think of a number below 7, that's probably what the Jets are going to score. I'm going to go 6-45, and that feels generous. But yeah, Chiefs by a lot.
The only thing is do they have pity on them in the fourth quarter to give them a garbage touchdown? That's the real question. Going to the next game, which we'll see the starting debut of Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins taking on the Los Angeles Rams, who are rolling right now. Even Jared Goff looks somewhat decent as a quarterback. But that team is humming. Aaron Donald is a fucking monster. Oh, my God. Just what he does on the pass rush and just how he makes offensive linemen look silly. And he's just a beast. And there's nothing more I can say without actually giving this man cunnilingus on his penis. He's great. And this is not a great place to start for the Miami Dolphins.
What the heck happened there?
They play. Wait, I thought they played the. Wait, hold on. Let me double check something real quick. I think the Dolphins must play the Jets again next week. Because I remember they played the Jets twice in a quick span.
That's kind of like the Panthers Falcons. Panthers played the Falcons week 5. Then I think the Raiders, then the Saints, now the Falcons again. Let's see.
Same with the Washington football team. We played Giants, Cowboys, bye, then the Giants again next week. Not this week. We're on bye this week.
They got the Jets the end of November, so
Oh, okay.
5 more weeks. So 2 times in 6 weeks, which is still pretty close, but a little more spread out than we thought.
Did they just come off a bye last week?
The Dolphins?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Okay. So yeah, as much as I want to see Tua succeed in the NFL, just not this week. I think that Aaron Donald's going to be a problem for him, especially in his rookie debut. You know, I feel like he might be holding the ball a little bit longer, and that little long hiccup or that second guess is going to give Aaron Donald plenty enough time to get to the quarterback. The defense is playing pretty well. Jalen Ramsey is a dog too. He's a dog. He's been slaying the wood too, which has been really nice to see. But I'm gonna go with the Rams winning 24-14.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I think having to play Aaron Donald in your first start as a rookie in the NFL, no off season, it's a tough ask for anybody. I'm gonna go Rams as well. I'll give Tua a little more.
14 points is generous.
Yeah, I'm going to go 24-13. I don't even know if they'll get 2 touchdowns. I think they'll get a field goal or 2 and then maybe a late touchdown.
Okay. All right, moving on. We got New Orleans Saints versus the Chicago Bears, the worst 5-2 team in the league. Or they might be 5-3.
Did we skip a game? Steelers-Ravens?
That's still coming up.
Oh, okay. Saints Bears.
Yeah, Saints Bears. It's in the queue. Saints Bears. I don't know. This is one of those games again. I don't know. Saints. I think this would probably be a coming out game for the Saints offense to really kind of right the wrongs they've had all season. But I mean, I don't trust the Chicago Bears. I mean, I'd rather be wrong and the Chicago Bears win than pick the Chicago Bears to win and they lose, which is like more than likely what's going to happen. Because that's like a train that's ready to go off the trails any moment. And the fact that it hasn't yet is kind of a shock. So I'm going to New Orleans. I'm going to go not a very high scoring game, 21-18 victory. I'll give more respect to competent coaching over players this week.
As of today, taping Thursday, the 29th, Khalil Mack and Allen Robinson haven't practiced this week, or at least today. So I'm going to go Saints for sure. The only question is the margin here. And without Khalil Mack, that defense is still good, but not good enough to beat the Saints, especially if Michael Thomas returns this week and plays to his standard, which, again, I need him in fantasy, so I can guarantee that won't be happening. But they still have Alvin Kamara, and Kamara is a freak. So I'm going to go Saints 24, Bears 13.
Okay. Onto the NFC West, we have a divisional battle. The Seahawks coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Cardinals, taking on the San Fran 49ers. This should be a really good game, a divisional game, of course. In Seattle, Mm, I think Russell Wilson rights his wrongs this week. I don't think they lose two in a row. Uh, San Francisco just has too many banged up players to really kind of give them the work. But I mean, it's hard to go against Kyle Shanahan. He's such a great play caller, such a great coach. But this will be a close game. But I think because of the loss on Sunday night last week, I got to go with the Seattle Seahawks. But a very close game, 29-28, Seattle.
Ooh. I got Seattle as well. Seattle's defense has been bad this year, but they did just add Carlos Dunlap, so the pass rush should be improved.
In a couple weeks, it's about a 2 to 3 week process before you can actually join the team.
Yeah, he won't be playing today. I forgot about all the COVID implications. He might play next week, but definitely won't be playing tomorrow because the trade just happened yesterday or Tuesday. Yesterday. So
it's Thursday, so Tuesday. It happened on Tuesday.
So yeah, he definitely won't be playing on Sunday.
I think he has to wait at least 2 weeks. I think the earliest he can
I thought it was 9 days, like 9 to 10 days. So because it was early in the week, he might be cleared by next Sunday.
I don't know. I gotta look at the rules, but I don't think at least for 2 games. So this weekend, next week.
Yeah, definitely this weekend though. So you're right. I can't count on him. But I don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo. I do trust Kyle Shanahan, and he's been able to scheme around Jimmy Garoppolo's streakiness. But the 49ers are down 3 running backs, I want to say, this week. Touchdown, Curtis Samuel again. The first one was rushing. This one was reception on a flea flicker.
Oh.
But yeah, down 3 running backs is going to be hard to overcome that. I don't know if Jerick McKinnon is healthy, but I know Raheem Mostert is out, Tevin Coleman is out, and Jeff Wilson Jr. is out. So it's going to be the Jerick McKinnon and undrafted rookie JaMychal Hasty show. But at the same time, Kyle Shanahan's been able to take whatever running back they play that week and make them look like an all-pro. So still, when deciding to close games, at least close on paper, you got to give the nod to the better quarterback, and Russell Wilson is undoubtedly a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'm going to go Seahawks 30-27.
Okay. Let's go to probably the game of the week. Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. And you got AFC North rivalry. Pittsburgh Steelers, the only unbeaten team in football right now. Baltimore, very good as well. Got Yannick, which I believe Yannick Ngakoue should make his debut this week. Because he got traded last week, maybe?
It depends. We'll find out on Sunday if it's 2 weeks or there's a certain number of days. With the trade thing.
But if he does, that's just insane. That's insane to already a stout defensive line and pass rush. The offense will definitely be one of the things. Pittsburgh Steelers has a historically great defense this year. Big Ben has been pretty much, getting better each week and just kind of unleashing this offense with a bunch of young guys and, putting up points with the defense just shutting people down. Black and yellow. This is not black. Black and yellow. I got to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers because one of the biggest fatal flaws of the Baltimore Ravens is that when an offense, one, is a high-powered offense, and two, gets out ahead of the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson just doesn't have enough to fire that offense playing from behind. They're not a team that are good or built to play from behind. So, and I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers can strike early and often, but that defense is good too in Baltimore. But I just think that offense I'll give the edge to Pittsburgh. And I just think Pittsburgh's defense is just so great. It's so great. I mean, the linebacker position is definitely a position that they're lacking right now with Devin Bush being out for the season. But I just still think they have enough coaching and talent to be able to hide those the deficiencies. And I'm going a really close game. I think it might be a really low scoring game. I'm gonna say 15-13.
Yeah, I agree with you. These are two historically very good defensive teams. And this year we're seeing that for sure. Mark Ingram didn't practice today. Again, we're recording on Thursday, so he could be back tomorrow or Saturday and be able to play Sunday. But as of right now, he's not looking like he's going to play Sunday. So that would be a big blow to the Ravens.
See J.K. Dobbins, see what he got.
We will see, because the other running back is Gus Edwards, and Gus Edwards doesn't really have or offer much in the way of hands. So if the Ravens do start trailing and have to turn to the passing game to help dig themselves out of a hole, the running backs could see checkdowns. Ooh, the ref just concussed himself. Slipped and fell back and hit his head. But yeah, if the Ravens have to turn to the pass to try to dig themselves out of a deficit, I would assume the running backs would get in on some underneath action, and Gus Edwards is not the guy for that. So we should see J.K. Dobbins make more of an impact, should that happen, in this game than we have so far this season. But like you said, the Ravens aren't really built for trailing. They're built to get ahead and just run the clock out, maintain that lead. And the Steelers are a little bit more balanced. They have a great defense, so they can play that grinded out style, or with a healthy Big Ben, they do have the potential to be explosive. So if this somehow turns into a shootout, they can keep up either way. So the fact that they're more versatile in their ability to win has me leaning Steelers. And I'm going to agree with you. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I'm going to go 17-13 Steelers over the Ravens.
Okay. Definitely should be a good game to watch. A very interesting game to watch as well this week brings me to the Los Angeles Chargers. Our guy, Justin Herbert, taking on the Denver Broncos and Drew Lock. And before the season, or at least early on the season, the Denver Broncos had a very, very interesting young team of talent. Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Drew Lock finally getting the reins at quarterback, Noah Fant at tight end. They had a lot of interesting weapons and a lot of interesting pieces on paper. Drew Lock gets hurt. Cortland Sutton's out with the ACL. It was very tough. I think Drew Lock made his came back last week, if I'm not mistaken, or a week before that. So he's definitely this will be a couple weeks back in getting back to playing shape. I want to see some progress from Drew Lock this week, especially to see if he's going to be the future. Because if they continue to tank and be trash, they're right in the mix for another quarterback next year. That's going to be interesting. They have a lot of young weapons, and the defense is no snubs either. I think this team could be a year away, a year or two away of just kind of really putting it together. Definitely not this year. But with all that being said, the Chargers are hot right now. Justin Herbert is, fuego. And I think he's going to put up another big performance against his defense. I'm going to say he puts up 33 points. Drew Lock scores maybe 16. So I'm going with the Chargers here.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I got the Chargers here. Justin Herbert has been on a tear. My rookie of the year so far. He's averaging like 300 yards a game. And if he had started from day one, he would probably be on pace to break all the rookie records, which I believe Joe Burrow is now.
Yeah.
But we'll see if Justin Herbert can overtake him for that. I definitely believe he's played better. But I'm going to go Chargers. Broncos defense isn't what it once was. They lost Aqib Talib, Chris Harris Jr., Von Miller's out with injury. Yeah, Chris Harris went to the Chargers. Aqib Talib is
retired.
Yeah, I don't even think he's on the team anymore. He bounced around. But yeah, the defense is not what it used to be. I'm going to go Chargers, 27 Broncos. I'll give them 17. 27-17.
Okay.
Yeah, 27-20. I feel generous tonight.
Real generous. All right, speaking of generously bad, let's move on to Sunday night football game. Dallas taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas stinks. We've seen that last week. They stink really bad. And I'm not sure if Andy Dalton's been cleared or not to play this week. So that could be another potential big blow for the team because this Dallas sucks. And so I'm going Philadelphia. I mean, Carson Wentz is a competent enough quarterback to put up at least 400 yards against this team. I think he might possibly get Deshaun Jackson back this week.
No, Deshaun Jackson came back last week and I believe broke his ankle.
Jesus Christ.
Or a high ankle sprain, maybe. Suffered it. It was a bad hit, like unnecessary.
Yeah.
But he's hurt. Alshon Jeffrey, I don't believe is coming back. But rookie Jalen Reagor may make his not debut. He played a couple games earlier in the year, but he may make his return to the lineup, which would give them somebody else. Travis Fulgham has emerged recently, and Greg Ward Jr. is a holdout from late last season when he had a surge. So he's got the three of them. At tight end, Richard Rodgers has kind of been playing well for them lately. I think he's got averaging 5 catches and 50 yards over the last 2 games. So not a plethora of weapons for Carson Wentz, but certainly more than he's had if Reagor does make his return. Yeah, but I'm going to go Eagles as well, just because I have no faith whatsoever in a Ben DiNucci, who I believe is the Cowboys' projected starting cornerback at this point, with Dak Prescott out and with the ankle and Andy Dalton with the concussion. So, yeah, no faith in him. Zeke has had fumbling problems, and with a rookie 6th-round pick quarterback in DiNucci starting, I believe, I believe Philadelphia's going to load the box and try to force the rookie to beat them through the air, and I don't believe he'll be able to. So, bad game for Zeke, bad game for the receivers. that offensive line has been beat up. So Fletcher Cox might feast on that interior. And then you got Brandon Graham and what's his name? Derek Barnett off the edge. Um, I'm going to go. I think Eagles have a bounce back game and kind of show why they were the favorites or second favorites in this division before the season. I'm going to give them 27 points. I'm going to give the Cowboys 10.
Very generous.
Yeah, Cowboys are going to stink this week.
Also, something to a little storyline to kind of to look out for. The Dallas Cowboys has 2 victories on the season currently and starting a third string quarterback. And if the season gets out of hand in about 2 or 3 weeks, we're very close for that happening. Do the Cowboys start to tank and possibly work their way into a top 3 pick? Maybe Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence talk with, even though with the Dak situation settling, of course you want to take care of Dak. And I'm not saying for the Cowboys to disrespect Dak like that, but if you have the capital to be a top 5 team with, the quarterbacks you got coming out, I mean,
yeah, I'm with you. I think if they lose, that should certainly at least be a consideration, because even if they don't go ahead and take a quarterback next year, the fact that they're in a position to kind of decreases Dak's leverage, and that was the problem with the long-term negotiations between the two. Maybe this brings them closer. Gives Dak, I think Dak wanted a 3-year deal, and they wanted to give him a 5-year deal. So it wasn't even money; it was the length of the contract that they couldn't find a middle ground on. Maybe they find that here, and Dak gives in a little bit because he knows that if he doesn't, they could just go ahead and draft a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance or whatever quarterback they want if they have a top 5 pick other than Trevor Lawrence, because he's probably going number 1. But yeah, I think they got to at least look into tanking, rolling with Ben DiNucci, even Andy Dalton if he gets cleared later in the season. He's good enough to win some games, but they could always – I mean, you can always throw out the rookie and say you're seeing what you have in him while tanking because you know he's not good enough to win games.
Yeah.
And fans obviously aren't going to like that in the short term, but oh my goodness, the Panthers just gave up like a 20-yard rushing touchdown to Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan?
That was horrendous. I couldn't see what number it was, but one of them
It's raining.
It looks like it's raining. Yeah. One of them lost his balance trying to turn back when Matt Ryan started scrambling and was like bear crawling along the goal line to get to Matt Ryan. And it just very bad look.
Also, what's going to be a bad look? Monday Night Football.
Oh, goodness.
We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the New York Football Giants. And yeah. Tampa Bay has been rolling. Dan Jones is –
Giants offensive line is in quarantine now because the left guard, Will Hernandez, tested positive for COVID-19. So this is kind of similar to the Raiders this last week, where the whole offensive line is in quarantine right now. We'll see who's cleared and who's not. But Will Hernandez is one of their better offensive linemen. So even if they just lose one more against that Bucs defense, which is ferocious, this game was going to be bad before, but it might just be downright ugly.
especially on Monday night. They should get bumped. They should put
I don't
Pittsburgh,
think they
Baltimore.
will. I don't think they will bump it purely because they need time to get those tests back for the offensive linemen. So the later in the week it is, the more time they have to do multiple tests and try to clear those guys. But the Bucks are good, and the Giants stink. So I'm going to go Bucks 38, Giants. I'll give them a touchdown. I'll go 10. But yeah, I don't think they'll be doing. 10 feels generous. I don't think they'll be moving the ball very much at all. I think it's going to be ugly. We might see some defensive scores for the Bucks, strip sacks, and fumble returns, or just getting to the quarterback. Getting a hand in his face, making him throw off target, leading to interceptions that could be run back. I definitely think we'll see at least one defensive score for the Bucks this Monday night, which again, because I need it for my fantasy football team, I can guarantee it won't happen because I have horrendous fantasy luck. But it is likely that it'll happen, but because I need it to, it won't. But if it does, you heard it here first.
So, do you guys like fun facts?
Fun facts? Of course I like them. They're fun. Who doesn't like fun?
So I got 2 fun facts. If you guys were following us last episode, which I'm pretty sure you guys were, we did SAT word of the day. So we're trying to, implement some stuff, smarter. Get us smarter. We're not just dumb jocks, you know what I'm saying? We're preparing for the SATs. We're trying to increase our vocabulary. But today's just a little bit of knowledge. Knowledge because, we went to college. Fun fact. Car manufacturer Volkswagen makes sausages. What? Also, it's stated that Volkswagen makes more money from sausages than they do car sales. That's even crazier fun fact. So I think we have to try to figure out. I'm going to try to find out how I can buy some of this sausage because I love sausages. Pause. But let's see what the hubbub's about. Let's see if how good is it. If I can get it imported in the country, who knows? Or maybe they have it stateside. That should be really fun. Actually, let's do a quick Google search while we're on, just because.
Does that make Volkswagen cars Wienermobiles?
Oh, probably. The Wiener
You got sausage, you got a vehicle, you got a Wienermobile.
Okay, let's see. Where can I buy Volkswagen currywurst in the United States? Let's see. Let's see. So the original reason that Volkswagen started making sausages was for the intent of feeding their employees. But then it started gaining popularity beyond the cafeteria, and now it could be found in supermarkets. I feel like Aldi, because it's like a German, store like that. Yeah, Aldi and Lidl are German supermarkets. Yeah.
What was the other one you said? Aldi and what? Lidl.
Lidl.
Or literally,
I don't know how to say it. It's like Lidl.
Literally never heard of that in my life.
Really? Dude, they're great. They just opened some up like in Wilmington. They opened up like Aldi and Lidl. They're both pretty much the same kind of store. Lidl actually has like a bakery, and they're discount like grocery stores or like cheaper. And they have like you won't like listen. You've been to Aldi though.
So oh yeah,
Aldi. So it's pretty much the same thing. They have, but I think Lido has a little bit more of like bigger name products. But like, of course, they're like their own products are really good too. Like I think people who just like who are so caught up on the brand name, like the Cheez-Its, like I like the Pop Tarts that the toaster strudels, like not toaster strudels, but like the toaster pastries, aka Pop Tarts that Aldi makes. I think they taste way better. They're more like pastry like. They're like soft and not like crunchy and hard. That makes sense.
Aren't Roman Reigns and the Usos cousins?
They are.
And they're beefing?
Oh man, they had a crazy Hell in a Cell match this past Sunday. Crazy storyline. Roman Reigns he considers himself, he's the head of the family, head of the table, and Jay is refusing to acknowledge him as the head of the table, and it's crazy. It's been a crazy rivalry. They have two really good matches.
Have they had The Rock as a special guest referee yet?
No, there's talks about the possibly doing Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania next year. What we'll see, because with his contracts and how much it's going to cost to get insurance for The Rock, because if he gets hurt during a match, then especially because this man has so many projects out at once or working on it at once.
Well, I think at that point he would forfeit the match, and then all of those projects would just transfer over to Roman Reigns because he would be the head of the family then.
Oh, I like that. That would be a good story. That would be good for the storyline, especially because Roman Reigns.
I'm not talking about for the storyline. I'm talking about real life.
Well, but what I'm saying is that like he was in Hobbs and Shaw, like he got him in Hobbs and Shaw, his first acting role. So then it would be easy kind of to swap him in and out. So I like that.
He's just like The Rock with hair.
So you cannot buy it in the United States because the sausages cannot be transported overseas and maintained in a sustainable, fresh condition to justify its high quality flavor. So, which means is
sounds like we're heading to Amsterdam one day.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Germany. We're gonna make a little trip to get some brats.
Yeah, Beer Fest.
Ooh,
or Oktoberfest.
Yeah, I think it's in October. Well, next October, that'd be perfect. Hopefully by then. But I mean, I think there's a couple countries that are going on full lockdown right now. Actually, going back.
Oh yeah, definitely not this year.
Definitely. But hopefully by next October.
You never know.
Hey, I'll get my passport. Let's do it. Hate2Pylon from Germany. That'd be great. That'd be a great episode.
You better travel cross country for some sausage.
Among other things. I mean, it'll be other things, but it'll be like
real fat boy hour.
That's like the ultimate food trip. But it'll be some other stuff like beer, sausage. I mean, we'll make our way to Amsterdam, smoke a little weed legally, and enjoy the Otis. Never mind. So second fun fact, and we're gonna wrap the show up. The Otis, your mom joke was discovered on a 3,500 year old Babylonian tablet. How funny is that?
That's a new Yo Mama joke right there. Yo Mama's so old. She was the original Yo Mama joke on a 3,500-year-old Babylonian tablet.
Insane. It says here that it was discovered in Iraq in 1976. However, since then the tablet has been lost, but the text remains preserved. Crazy fun fact.
Correct.
Crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't know Wilmer Valderrama was around that long.
Oh, dang. Ooh, a zinga, bazinga.
I used to love that show.
Big Bang Theory?
No. Yo Mama.
Oh, yeah.
With Wilmer Valderrama.
Oh, man. But we love you and all your mamas. And
yes, no jokes for them from us. Unless you want to hear some. I'm sure we could come up with some. But we're assuming you don't want to at this point, so we'll pass on them for now.
All out of time this week. 2 episodes of Hate2Pylon. We had our recap and our predictions. We will see a little bit more of this formula going forward. Possibly some more content as well. Big weekend of football. Super excited for some more Big Ten SEC action. Pac-12 is right around the corner. One more week. We talked about all the big matchups this weekend. Really excited for Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. That should be probably the game of the week. But yeah, everybody have a great night. Jonathan's going to go ahead and continue to watch his Carolina Panthers play tonight.
Yes.
And I am going to probably go eat some chicken wings. But have a great night, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Peace out.